Two Labrador airlines are making a move that will create a monopoly on travel in the region's north coast.
Air Labrador is folding into Innu-Makun, an arm of Provincial Airlines, and the new partnership is rebranding. Here and Now's Katie Breen has our story.
This airport in Happy Valley Goose Bay is the hub for travel to Labrador's north coast. Two companies used to fly out of here competing for those communities. Now they've joined forces and rebranded to create Air Borealis. The logo is a green Inukshuk, 7 stones to represent the 7 northern Innu and Inuit communities the airline will service. But the question is how they'll be serviced. The 7 communities are only accessible by plane most of the year. They fly in staples like food. One carrier could theoretically charge whatever it wants, but spokespeople today said that shouldn't happen. As for the discounts Innu and Inuit receive, those will continue, but it's not clear what the percentage will be. Premier Dwight Ball says he's not concerned about the number of airline carriers dropping to 1.
Well, when you have the owners that are actually supplying the benefits and they provide the benefits to the beneficiaries, which would be the users of this airline, so they have a vested interest to take care of their own constituents, the beneficiaries here. So I'm confident that this group, this is a good relationship between the Indigenous groups, both the Unatjavut and of course our Innu leaders, and they see this as good for their beneficiaries and willing to make sure that they get the benefits of this new arrangement.
PAL, which will be operating Air Borealis, wouldn't comment on the dollar value of the deal. The partnership comes after price wars and undercutting tactics by both companies. New afternoon flights will be introduced, but no details have been released yet. Katie Breen, CBC News, Happy Valley Goose Bay.
And with just one airline servicing those northern Labrador coastal communities, the cost of flights will be top of mind. Here's what one official involved in the deal had to say to reassure customers.
We should see a deal that should be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So I'm hoping and I'm pretty confident that you're actually going to see prices probably stabilize or if not drop.
Changes are finally coming to a dangerous intersection in Gander. After years of complaints, crews will soon lay down new pavement for the Trans-Canada Highway. Here and Now's Garrett Berry reports.
Some people call this a death trap. Schools and houses right behind me, speeding vehicles on the other side. This place has seen its fair share of serious accidents.
McGee and the Trans-Canada, the site of many crashes. This one, in 2008, killing an 8-year-old boy. His mother is haunted by it.
I drive through here almost every day, sometimes 2 and 3 times. And every time I do, I'm just waiting for the next one. It creates anxiety because it's so easy how fast accidents happen here and you're on guard all the time.
Town Council has lobbied the province for years. Today, road work underway, creating a new turning lane for some traffic.
It's probably not the best solution, but it's not the worst. Maybe a clover leaf or an overpass would be better. But again, that's dollars, and I think this solution here will help definitely.
A 2015 provincial study found no need for traffic lights, but Calder says she believes there should be an overpass, and she does not understand any arguments against it.
I know what they're talking about is the lake, the expense, the golf course. That's crap. You can't put a price on a life. There's not enough money. If it means saving a life, save the life.
It's a wait-and-see approach for now. Will these changes help traffic flow? Councillors are ready to go back to the lobbying again if things don't improve. Garrett Berry, CBC News, Gander.
Well, it looks like developer and former Premier Danny Williams will pay for a controversial roundabout in the Galway subdivision after all. That's the word from City Councillor Jonathan Galgay, who says he's spoken to Williams. Now, the issue blew up late last month when Deputy Mayor Ron Ellsworth released a letter from Williams challenging the city's demand that his company pay for the roundabout. The former Premier accused the city of a double standard, spending money for infrastructure in the east end of the city, but demanding Williams pay for upgrades in the West End.
There will be vigils in 3 areas of the province tonight for a young woman who has been missing for more than a week. Family and friends of Courtney Lake will gather in Mount Pearl, St. Lawrence, and Marystown, 3 communities where she has relatives, to pray that she'll be found. Lake is 24 years old. She was last seen at an Esso gas station in St. John's on Wednesday of last week. Her bank account and phone have not been used since then, and police consider her disappearance suspicious. There have been ground searches in Mount Pearl, CBS, and the Galway area of St. John's. Family members say they aren't giving up hope that she is okay.
A breast pump, a vacuum, and 3 live flying squirrels. Tonight, they have one thing in common. They were all stolen by this man, Stephen Rumsey. And you did hear that right. He admits to shoplifting 3 flying squirrels from Pets Unlimited in January of 2014. Rumsey was sentenced today to 18 months in prison for a string of thefts, including 5 vacuums. And he was also sentenced for being in possession of drugs at Her Majesty's Penitentiary. This is Rumsey being handed a Kinder Surprise capsule from his girlfriend in March of 2014. He was sentenced to 4 months for possessing cocaine and Dilaudid. Well, the Jordan decision stands. That's the unanimous ruling today from the Supreme Court of Canada. Simply put, people charged with crimes have the right to a speedy trial. Last summer, the court imposed strict timelines for criminal cases to get through the system. Today, in a case involving James Cody from Conception Bay South, there were clearer instructions given on what the Jordan decision actually means. Cody was arrested on drugs and weapons charges in 2010, but his trial didn't start until 5 years later. Now, 7 years later, the charges have been thrown out.
We've already seen changes here locally as to the way things are happening in court. I think everyone was put on notice when Jordan came down that the expectations were different, that the rules of the game were a little different.
And I think Cody gave a bit more clarification in terms of what to do with cases already before the system that were a little bit confusing, because when Jordan came out, it in a way expected us to have acted within the Jordan guidelines before they actually existed.
And Justice Minister Andrew Parsons says this province is managing fairly well with the new guidelines, but with today's ruling, everyone in the system will have to act more quickly to move cases along.
This week's controversy over neighborhood basketball nets has a lot of people talking, including our CBC colleagues at the St. John's Morning Show. Anthony Germain and Chrissy Holmes moved the show out into the station's parking lot and asked people to drop by for a little one-on-one basketball and to get their thoughts on the decision by the City of St. John's to crack down on basketball nets in residential areas. This all began when resident Craig Pike received a notice from the city saying the net he put on the road for kids in the area had to be removed by today or he could be fined. And tonight, arguably the best basketball player to come out of this province is weighing in on the controversy. Carl English played college ball at the University of Hawaii, and he has since been a pro basketball player in Europe since 2005, And as many know, he got his starts shooting hoops on the road in Patrick's Cove.
As a parent, also, I know some other parents, they would be frustrated. I'm fortunate enough to have a court in my driveway and I'm not on the road, but if I was on the road like they were, I'd definitely have a court there. I'd have my hockey nets there. I think people in Newfoundland moved to cul-de-sacs for that reason. You know, okay, mine was a special case, but I was on a highway. There was fish trucks going, transport trucks. That was the in and way out of the town. So mine was a lot busier than what they're dealing with, and nobody had any complaints.
Well, some of the country's top marine conservation scientists are calling on Ottawa to live up to its own targets to protect Canada's coastlines. They complain that while Canada has signed on to international agreements, it still allows things like fishing and drilling in protected areas. Here now's Chris O'Neill-Yates reports.
A group of 15 marine conservation scientists from St. John's to Victoria has written a letter to the Ministers of Fisheries and Oceans and Environment and Climate Change asking the government to live up to its own regulations as well as to its international responsibilities when it comes to the protection of marine protected areas on Canada's coast. Rudolph de Villiers is a geography professor at Memorial University and one of the signatories on this letter. And de Villiers says the whole idea behind marine protected areas is conservation.
It states that the primary objective of any MPA has to be conservation. This is something that is not yet the case in Canada. They also say that most of an MPA should have no industrial activity, and this is far from being the case in Canada.
DeVier and the other scientists say essentially Canada has to start practicing what it preaches, that when these conservation areas are considered, scientists are part of the picture, but when they're revised, scientists aren't given the opportunity to give their input. And they cite in particular the fishing industry and the oil and gas industry as having sway over what parts of these areas are open to industry. They're suggesting that the Government of Canada give the same protection to marine protected areas that it gives to terrestrial parks, meaning that any activity that could be damaging would not happen in these areas. One of the things that Canada signed on to in 2015 was that 10% of its marine coastline would be protected by the year 2020. Chris O'Neill-Yates, CBC News, St. John's.
We all know about Gander's role in helping people affected by 9/11, but what about Stephenville? It's not mentioned very often, but during the height of the terror attacks on the U.S., 8 planes were diverted to the airport in the small West Coast town. Now, local film students are premiering a short film that they hope will help people better understand the role that Stephenville played. Here and Now's Colleen Connors has the story.
Well, this is part of the film set for the College of the North Atlantic's newest short film called Off Course. It's all about 9/11 and the 8 planes landing here. You can see, part of a plane over here. This is all part of the digital filming program that's offered at the college, where students not only write the film, but they shoot it, and now they're in the processes of editing it all.
And see, now she walks into it.
Right now, as you can see, I am doing color correction on the film. So I'm just making sure all of the shots look the best they possibly can and try and get a certain kind of look for the whole movie.
Cook and other students transformed the Stephenville airport to tell the fictional story of a right-wing politician who lands in Stephenville during 9/11. The character meets people and it leads him to question his political and personal views. People here still talk about how the community came together to help stranded passengers back in 2001.
I think more than anything, it's just really good for us to get the story of Stephenville's involvement out. Everybody knows Ganders and they did an awesome job, great stuff. And I think it would be really nice for people to come and see just what role Stephenville played as well.
Market. With the help of hired actors and a director, the students are producing a professional film that they say has the potential to boost tourism and put 9/11's involvement on the map.
Stephenville had, of course, an American Air Force base, and so we do get some American tourists no matter what. But perhaps this movie might as well introduce some more tourism to the area. You never know.
Digital filmmaking instructors and the students are in crunch mode, in the editing suite, preparing the movie for its debut to the public.
And just like all the short films that are produced at the college, parts of this scene will be shown in the film this Saturday night at the Arts and Culture Center. Colleen Connors, CBC News, Stephenville.
It's that time of year again. Yes, the whales are being spotted just off our shores. We'll tell you where they are coming up in about 3 minutes.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Before I get to the all-important weekend weather forecast, I just want to show you this video from yesterday afternoon. Just have a look at this. This was sent to us from Kirk DeHart of Portugal Cove, St. Phillips. He says this curious moose calf wandered into his backyard yesterday afternoon, started playing with that swing there, and seems to be looking for some branches to munch on.
Seems to be looking for something to be at there. He's hanging around the backyard.
Just exploring everything.
Doesn't seem to be in any rush. Must be his weekend.
He must be wondering what all of these things are.
Looking for munches. He's hanging around for quite a bit of time. This is an incredible video, Kirk. We appreciate you sending that in.
It is, yes. Thank you very much for sending this in. Love to see moose calf videos. So, yeah, he just kind of lingers around in the backyard for a while, and then he decides to wander away. Yep, off to his next adventure. And if you're looking for an outdoor adventure of your own this weekend, this is what's in store. Tomorrow is a great day if you're on the island. So we do have a risk of frost overnight tonight for parts of the island, mostly in the east. Saturday is going to warm up very nicely for most of the province. And Father's Day, there will be a few showers moving in. Pretty much everyone is going to get a taste of the wet stuff on Sunday. So these are the areas that have a frost advisory in place right now. We have St. John's, Bonavista, Terra Nova, Clarenville areas. So if you have any plants, you'll want to bring them in tonight just in case. We do have a few showers on the way tonight in the St. John's area near midnight, about 2 to 4 millimeters. And the same thing for Labrador City near midnight, about 2 to 4 millimeters. So nothing really significant overnight tonight. Very cloudy evening for most areas. Temperatures dropping down to 5 degrees as the low in St. John's with some showers. Cloudy across the island, 6 as the low in Grand Falls, Windsor, and you can see those showers as well in Lab City tonight, just 9 degrees there as the low. So looking ahead to Saturday, St. John's is looking really good. Pretty much a lot of the east is looking really nice on Saturday. So if you have any outdoor plans, you'll want to do that on Saturday for sure. But you can see the system that's moving in and bringing some showers to the west coast of the island and up through Labrador. Labrador will see showers pretty much all throughout the day, and here on the north coast and on the south coast as well. But St. John's, like I say, is going to be fairly nice tomorrow. We're going to start the day with 9 degrees. Then in the afternoon, it'll get up to about 15 to 17 degrees, which is pretty good. Now, it will be kind of windy. We'll have those southwest winds, 30 gusting to 50, so it will be pretty breezy tomorrow, but it will be a warm wind, so at least there's that. And it'll cool down in the evening with some sun and cloud, 13 degrees at around 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So these are your highs for the province tomorrow. You can see on the Avalon, 17 as the high, a little cooler along the southern part of the Avalon, 20 in Bonavista with cloudy skies, and a nice warm up in central Newfoundland. We have 20 degrees in Gander, lots of cloud though, a chance of showers in Bay Verte there, and 19 degrees. On the west coast, where that system is moving in, there is a chance of showers in lots of different places in the morning and in the afternoon, but the temperatures are looking lovely. We have 19 degrees in Humber Valley and 17 up in Gros Morne. Moving on up to the Straits and parts of Labrador, those showers will affect those areas as well. It's a little bit cooler, the Straits, only about 10 degrees as the high tomorrow with some heavier showers. For the rest of Labrador, pretty nice day in terms of temperature. We have 19 degrees in Happy Valley Goose Bay, 13 in Nain with some showers. So you can see really showers all across the board throughout the day tomorrow in Labrador. So I'll have more on what's in store for your weekend a little bit later. Jeremy?
Thanks for that, Carolyn. It is that time of year again, whale season. And word on the water is that there's been some amazing sightings in Bay Bulls. Here and Now's Peggy Lamb has our story.
So it is a beautiful day out at sea today. Behind us there's a gorgeous iceberg, but that's not the only thing that people on this boat are here to see. We're on Gatherall's Boat Tours, one of the many companies that take people out on trips like this 2 or 3 times a day, and they're also here to look for whales. We've had a lot of luck in terms of sighting them today. We've seen a handful of minke whales and a handful of humpback whales.
What we just seen today was pretty spectacular. It's 2 humpback whales feeding, 2 female humpback whales feeding. Normally, it's very early in the season, so we don't get to see the whales so close like we did, but we did get lucky and we did manage to see the whales right in around the bow of the boat here.
It's so thrilling to be here where all this lives. There goes another minke right now.
I've been speaking to the captain, and he says that they are here to feast. They follow their food. So as long as we see a lot more capelin in the bay, we'll be seeing a lot of whales for this summer. Peggy Lamb, CBC News, Witless Bay.
Up next, I hit the courts with pro basketball player Carl English to hear about his plans to get more people involved in the sport. There's been no shortage of basketball talk on the show the last couple of days, and now we're going to give you a little bit more. This province's best-known basketball player is back home for the summer. Carl English here wrapped up another season playing in Europe a few weeks ago, but he's not resting in the off-season. English is hosting a free day-long basketball camp this Friday. I met up with him earlier today to talk hoops. I tried to play with him, but I couldn't keep up. But we did talk about basketball. So Carl, you're recently back from Germany. How was the season playing basketball overseas this year?
It was good. It was good. I mean, I stayed healthy for the most part. I missed the last game with some fractured ribs, but other than that, it was fine. Started off in Spain. I was in Tenerife. Then a team from Germany, Alba Berlin, came and bought me out of my contract there. So I was happy in Spain. It was nice, but I wanted something different, so we decided to take that contract. And Germany was great. I mean, it's a beautiful country. Very strict, I would say, would be one way to describe it, but fan base was amazing. We had probably 12 to 15,000 at every game, and it was pretty wild. The facilities were amazing. They're very structural on what they do there, and they put off a great event for everybody, so I had a lot of fun.
Carl, you're back in St. John's. What are your plans for the summer?
Right now, I'm just with the family. It's a great time now because school's about to be out, but my first plan right now is on Friday of next week. From 10 to 2, we're going to do a voluntary basketball camp. So I'm hoping we get a lot of kids out. The first session is from 10 to 12, and it's from ages 4 to 6. And the next session is 7 onward. So any kids that want to come out and, you know, learn the game or just an introduction. Basically, the plan is to give them some things they can work on over the summer. It'll be short, but it's free, and we have this beautiful facility booked off for them. So I'm hoping to get some numbers because Saturday and Sunday is the play on. So a lot of kids are coming from away to come into town. So I'm hoping they come in on Friday and stop in and we'll have some fun.
So why did you want to put off a free basketball camp?
It's more so just to give back a little. You know, I usually do some camps when I come home, and it's not always to the price point that people can understand or people want to pay, but it's more so for the kids to come out, have some fun, get some things to work on in the summertime, and it's free. I mean, why not? And also just help build basketball in our province again to where it should be is what I think.
So Carl, there's a chance that professional basketball could come to St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador as the greatest basketball export this province has produced. What are your thoughts on professional basketball here in St. John's?
I think anytime you bring any entertainment to the city, it'd be great. I mean, obviously basketball is my sport, so I think it'd be great for the city, but also for the kids as well. Especially now with the hockey team leaving, there's really no entertainment, only the concerts that come every now and then. So if you have a consistent team, the funny thing about that is I was talking to some parents the other day at soccer, and they were asking me the same thing because my name has been thrown around with a fair bit.
Carl, English player coach?
Yeah, player coach, everything. So to me, he said an interesting thing, and it was Newfoundlanders get behind something that's their own. And I found the same way. They followed me, they cheered for me, and the same thing with the hockey players. They follow you and they support you. I think they didn't get behind the last hockey team because they knew it was only here for a couple of years. I think if we started from scratch and we built something special with a professional team, I think we'd create the fan base, and it'd be something that they can consider their own. And I think that's the way they do it in Europe. You'll have your support from your club teams, and whether you win or lose or have a tough season or things are not going as well, you still have the support from those fans because they feel it's theirs. And I think that'd be a great way to sum up a team for Newfoundland.
So if you were approached, is there any chance you would do anything with them if the price was right?
There's always a chance if the price is right. The biggest thing for me, again, I was talking to some friends, they're like, oh man, it'd be great for you to play at home. It would be great to play at home. I'm at that stage in my career, I know that's your next question, but I'm at that stage in my career where I don't know what's next. So I'm free agent again this summer. That team wants to bring me back. We're looking at some options. It has to be right for me to take my family with me. I want them with me to finish off the last couple of years. If there was a team here, well, I'm playing in front of my family, I'm playing in front of my friends. So if everything worked out and financially it was something I could do, I mean, obviously it'd be amazing to play for Newfoundland is how I'd look at it, so that'd be awesome.
Well, up next, we'll take a look at the concerns being raised about a scrapyard in central Newfoundland that's being operated a stone's throw from the ocean.
Welcome back to Here and Now. One man's trash is another man's treasure, and in this case, it's all perfectly legal. Last night, we told you about a man operating a scrapyard on the shores of Cobb's Arm Pond in central Newfoundland. The province says he's not breaking any rules and the operation is being monitored. But that's not holding water for one Memorial University professor. Here and Now's Martin Jones has the story.
We shouldn't be talking about these spot checks.
MUN biologist Bill Montevecchi has serious concerns about the negative impact the scrapyard could have on the local fishery and wildlife that live just a few hundred meters away. He applauds George Saunders for his efforts to clean up and recycle in Notre Dame Bay, but he says the government is simply not doing enough.
They can check once in a while, oh, we didn't see anything. Oh, we didn't break the regulation. Not that long ago, we heard the regulation, you can smoke and put toxins in your lungs. You don't have to worry about that. You're not breaking any medical regulations or whatever, and we don't see any problems with that. We're in that kind of situation where when regulations are not being broken, but we're doing something wrong.
But for Montevecchi, it's all about location. The scrapyard is separated from Notre Dame Bay by a causeway, but that's still too close to the ocean. Saunders says he's scrapped almost 800 cars so far and has never had a spill on the site. And while he knows some people are angry, he has no plans to move his business. Reporting for Here and Now, I'm Martin Jones.
The weather update is brought to you by Belltone Hearing Service St. John's, helping the world hear better.
All right, time now to look at your long-range forecast. I thought I'd start with some current temperatures because it's looking pretty warm in some areas in the province tonight. Corner Brook is sitting at 18 degrees right now. Not too bad for a Friday night. Happy Valley Goose Bay, 19 degrees. Much cooler in St. John's. We're just at 4 degrees now. And those cooler temperatures in the east mean that there's a frost warning in effect, or a frost advisory in effect for this evening. So like I mentioned before, if you have any plants, any little seedlings or anything you want to bring them in tonight to keep them nice and safe. So areas, the Clarenville area, Terra Nova, St. John's, and the northern Avalon affected by that this evening. So quick look at temperatures tomorrow. It's going to be lovely on the island in the east. Some cloudy skies, but a touch of sun, and temperatures in the upper teens to early 20s. And on the west coast, a chance of showers in Corner Brook and along the south coast there in Port aux Basques, 17 in Corner Brook, 19 in Lab City tomorrow. So looking ahead to Saturday night, lots of showers are coming in and they're going to linger with us for a couple of days. You can see Saturday at 6 o'clock, the system moving in, affecting the west coast of the island, and that pushes east throughout the evening Saturday night. So if you're in central areas and you're heading out on Saturday night, you'll want to bring your raincoat for sure. And that keeps moving throughout the evening, and at about 3 a.m. on Saturday night, it will come into the St. John's area. Lots of cloud cover across Labrador as well. Some heavier showers moving in through Sunday morning, Father's Day, and afternoon. So everyone will see some showers at some point pretty much on Father's Day. So if you're going out camping or anything like that, you'll want to be prepared for a bit of wet weather. But fortunately, it will be wet, warm weather. We have 17 degrees as the high in the east for Sunday afternoon, and in central getting up to 16, 18 on the west coast, and 18 right across Labrador. Heavier showers in Lab West with about 10 to 20 millimeters expected there. So Sunday evening moving into Monday, you can see that still that wet weather is hanging around, and it will sort of persist through Monday morning. So as you start your work week, it's going to be fairly wet for pretty much everyone, but you can see that the temperatures are taking a shift compared to this week. So 20 degrees pretty much on the whole island, a little bit cooler on the eastern coast of Labrador, just 12 degrees there, and 15 in western Labrador, but showers right across the board. So in the east, we're looking at temperatures in the 20s next week, which is really, really nice. Some showers in central and west, but still the temperatures are looking lovely. Cooler though in Labrador, looking at temperatures around 17, 15 on Thursday, and you can see those showers right across. Cooler on Friday, but we'll see how that works out in the end in western Labrador.
Well, they're playing our favorite song, so you know what that means. It's time to introduce you to our young athlete of the day. Today, it's Ruben Cull. Ruben is 5 years old and lives in Wabush. He is a hockey player with the Novice AB Labrador Minor Hockey Association. He enjoys time on the ice with his team, the Lakers.
Ruben also plays soccer and softball and likes to swim. We hope you have a great summer, Ruben. You are our young athlete of the day. Welcome back to Here and Now. Well, the jury is still at an impasse in the Bill Cosby sexual assault trial. 5 days and more than 40 hours. That's how long the jury of 7 men and 5 women have been deliberating. Today, jurors approached the judge with a question about reasonable doubt. They also reportedly wanted another listen to some of the sealed Cosby testimony. The 79-year-old comedian is charged with 3 felony counts of aggravated indecent assault. Each count carries a maximum 10-year prison term.
Imagine buying a home with a big backyard, with a shed and a deck, only to discover you don't own anything past your back door. A Nova Scotia man has spent months trapped in a real estate runaround looking for answers. After he was offered to purchase the yard he thought was already his. Yvonne Colbert has the story.
Somewheres around this post, give or take a foot or two either way, that is my property line. The stairs are not on my property, and neither is the shed that I was given a key to.
It's been a rude awakening for Ryan Manning, who bought this Salmon River duplex in the fall of 2014. It was a foreclosure, sold as is, where is, a fixer-upper. Manning was prepared to put some money and time into it. He wasn't prepared for a knock on his door 2 years later.
He approached me and he said, "Would you like to buy your backyard?" And initially I thought he was crazy. I was like, "You don't own this. There's no possible way." I bought it. I got the listing. Here's the pictures.
And that's true. The listing with Remax Fairlane Realty in Truro did show a picture of the backyard. Under garage, it specified other. He was even given keys to the shed when the deal closed. Manning says he walked the fenced backyard with a realtor.
They were telling me that this is your yard. You see it, it's fenced into your house. It's pretty self-explanatory, and I never ever questioned them. I always believed that they were telling me the truth.
After that visit from the man who did own the backyard, Manning checked and discovered the truth. He owned only the land his house sat on and none of the backyard.
It was sickening. I had such a horrible feeling.
Prior to closing, Manning's lawyer had recommended a survey. As an alternative, he suggested a location certificate or title insurance. Manning opted for the title insurance, but his claim has been rejected. He contacted everyone involved, including the real estate company and his lawyer. 9 months later, with no change in the situation, he approached CBC.
Homeowners, cities, and arborists in many parts of Canada say they are under assault. They're battling huge numbers of worms and caterpillars this spring, epic and sometimes overlapping invasions. Harvard Gould reports.
They're everywhere, right?
Inchworms, cankerworms, whatever you call them, in some parts of the country, the population has exploded this spring. Trees are under attack, people too.
There's poop everywhere when it rains. It gets slippery. Our daughter slipped in it. Our 90-pound dog has slipped in it. It's just disgusting. We can't come outside.
In Winnipeg, they're dealing with a triple threat. The inchworms are everywhere, along with elm-span worms and tent caterpillars.
This is a highly unusual year for us to have 3 tree pests at the same time.
It may be natural boom and bust cycles, although so many pests in so many places have some suspecting climate change could be a factor. Either way, the impact is stunning. In Toronto's High Park, some of the oak trees have been almost stripped bare, making it look like winter in June.
And the Swiss cheese.
It's total Swiss cheese, exactly.
Diana Teal says this is the worst damage she has ever seen.
Normally at this time of the year, these canopies of these trees would just be full, and right now they're almost completely defoliated.
Older, weaker trees may have trouble recovering, and some experts say in some parts of the country, the worst may be yet to come. Some are forecasting a banner year for mosquitoes. Harvard Gould, CBC News, Toronto.
A U.S. woman who sent texts to her boyfriend encouraging him to commit suicide has been found guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Michelle Carter, who was 17 at the time, sent hundreds of texts to Conrad Roy III before he took his own life.
Carter's actions and also her failure to act, where she had a self-created duty to Mr. Roy since she had put him into that toxic environment, constituted each and all wanton and reckless conduct.
18-year-old Roy killed himself by filling up his pickup truck with carbon monoxide. At one point, he climbed out of the truck, but Carter told him to get back in. She faces up to 20 years in prison.
One of the architects of European unity has died. Helmut Kohl was also the leader who oversaw German unification at the end of the Cold War. Kohl served as Chancellor of West Germany from 1982. Unification with East Germany came in 1990, and Kohl stayed in power until 1998. He helped bring about the European currency, the euro, and he worked towards a political union with Europe. Kohl was 87 years old.
The Russian Defense Ministry says the head of ISIS has been killed. Russia claims an airstrike in Syria last month may have killed the elusive and shadowy leader of ISIS, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. The airstrike targeted a meeting of ISIS leaders just outside the group's de facto capital in Syria. The U.S.-led coalition fighting ISIS says in a statement it cannot confirm the Russian claim.
Members of the royal family are offering some small comfort to those affected by the fire in London's Grenfell Tower. That is the Queen and Prince William at Westway Sports Centre in West London. It's one of the sites where community groups have gathered supplies for survivors and families. The Royals met with volunteers and fire officials, commending them on the work they've done so far.
The sister of a Nova Scotia veteran who killed himself and 3 members of his family is questioning why he was medically cleared for a gun license despite suicidal thoughts just 3 months earlier. Documents obtained by CBC show that Lionel Desmond was assessed by a doctor nearly a year before the shootings. At that time, the physician had no concerns about Desmond's gun use. Carolyn Ray reports.
He had night terrors, cold sweats.
Cassandra Desmond is filled with grief and anger. On January 3rd, her brother Lionel Desmond shot their mother and his wife and daughter before killing himself at his Nova Scotia home. The Afghanistan vet had PTSD.
These steps need to be taken. My family deserves answers to the questions that we have replaying in our minds over and over each day that we awake.
One of Cassandra Desmond's big questions is why her brother had a gun. She found this medical assessment. It was part of a review of his firearm license. It said there were no concerns about Desmond's firearm usage despite his PTSD.
What type of physician is still going to sign off and allow a man to have his gun license if he states that he's concerned for his well-being and he was threatening his own life?
The Fredericton doctor who signed the form spoke to CBC, saying he was shocked when he heard about the shootings. Lionel Desmond's firearm license was under review because in 2015 he had threatened to harm himself. 3 months after that incident, Dr. Paul Smith says Desmond was being treated with medical marijuana and he was thriving, so the doctor had no concerns when he signed the form. It's unknown whether Desmond still had a valid firearm license at the time of his death or where he got the gun. Smith wonders if Desmond's medical care changed when he moved to Nova Scotia, causing a relapse. Cassandra Desmond also wonders about his care.
I want to see the truth revealed.
Nova Scotia's health authority conducted a review after the shootings, but those findings won't be released. The family is demanding a public inquiry, and the medical examiner says he's considering that option. Carolyn Ray, CBC News, Halifax.
Well, Amazon is making a move for your grocery cart. The online retail giant has agreed to purchase grocery chain Whole Foods for about $13 billion US. This deal includes their 13 stores in Canada. Shares in Amazon rose sharply after the announcement. Under the sale, Whole Foods will still operate under the same name and leadership structure. Experts say the deal shows Amazon's interest in operating traditional brick-and-mortar stores.
Holy tribute, Batman! Los Angeles became Gotham City. That was terrible.
That was good.
Became Gotham City last night when the bat signal lit up City Hall. It's a tribute to Adam West, who played the Cape Crusader in the 1960s Batman television series. West died last week at the age of 88. Touching tribute, though.
It is. Welcome back to Here and Now. We have an update on the stranded beluga whale we told you about yesterday. It's been spotted swimming with other young belugas in Kakuna, Quebec. The beluga was flown from Bathurst, New Brunswick, all the way to the airport in Rivière-du-Loup, Quebec. You can see it being unloaded from the plane and very carefully placed in a pickup truck. It was taken to a nearby port and gently lowered into the water. A very happy ending to a whale of a rescue mission.
It's only one day into the U.S. Open and already there is an incredible shot to show you. Sweden's Henrik Stenson was about to take his second shot on the 11th hole, and then this happened.
Struggling a bit on 4 over. Trying to become the first European since Tony Jacklin to add the that helps.
So that's a par 4 hole, but he only needed 2 shots with this beautiful hit. It flies directly in from 152 yards. Now, thankfully, it was all captured on video, or else no one in the clubhouse would believe that he dropped it in. No bouncing, no rolling, straight into the pin. And look at him, boom, money. That's basically the Carl English of golf over there. Swish. Look at that one more time. Just drop, slow-mo, boom. You don't see that ever.
That is a rare shot for sure. All right, I'm sure he is celebrating that shot and will be for a very long time. And let's see who else is celebrating birthdays and anniversaries this week. Happy 92nd birthday to Rowena Mercer of Grand Falls, Windsor. She's pictured here with her newest great-grandchild, Sarah. Congratulations to Linda and Ben Younghusband, who celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary on May 12th. Happy 100th birthday to Anna Benoit of Stephenville, who is celebrating that milestone today. Happy 96th birthday on Monday to Stella Reed, formerly of Heart's Delight, now in St. John's. Best wishes to Florentine Walsh, formerly of Bellevue Trinity Bay, now in St. John's, who is celebrating her 98th birthday.
Happy 90th birthday to Peg Forbes. Happy anniversary to Violet and Harold Rodway of Paradise, who will be celebrating their 65th wedding anniversary tomorrow. Also wishing Violet a very happy birthday. It's a golden anniversary for Bill and Ada Farrell on the 19th. Bill and Margaret Miles of St. Bernard's enjoyed their 60th wedding anniversary on Wednesday. Happy 57th wedding anniversary to Derek and Phyllis Loader of Cornerbrook, whose big day is today.
Happy birthday to Tony Doucette, who celebrated her 95th birthday on the 13th. Happy 91st birthday yesterday to Lillian Holloway, who's from St. John's and now lives in Kelligrews. Best wishes to Agnes and Ralph Dunn, who will celebrate their 50th anniversary tomorrow. And happy 60th anniversary Matthias and Eliza Jane Pickett of Centerville. They celebrated on June 10th. Happy birthday to Jean Snow of Grand Falls, Windsor, who is celebrating her 94th birthday this Wednesday.
Happy 95th birthday to Gertie Stockley of Botwood. Happy 57th anniversary this Sunday to Agnes and Ron Richard of Gander. We're told that they are faithful Here and Now viewers. Thanks so much for watching. Aubrey and Marie Bradley of Sandringham will celebrate their golden anniversary tomorrow. Congratulations. It's also a 50th anniversary for Keith and Ann Young of Mount Pearl. Keith is a retired employee of CBC Television here in St. John's. Walter and Lorraine Tobin from Balleen on the Southern Shore enjoyed their 50th wedding anniversary on the 12th.
Congratulations to Nellie and Calvin Oram of Gambo on their 50th anniversary this past Wednesday. 63rd wedding anniversary greetings going out to Bruce and Helen Windsor of Kilbride, whose special day is coming up on the 21st. Happy 90th birthday on Father's Day to Eric Stanley of Clarenville. Bob and Bertha Harvey, formerly of St. John's and now in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, celebrated their 57th wedding anniversary yesterday. Happy 50th anniversary wishes to Percy and Rosanna Hunt of Trinity in Bonavista Bay.
Jane and Calvin Pink of Ramia celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary yesterday. Congratulations. Happy birthday to Hilda Tolk from Ladle Cove, who is 90 years old today. Congratulations to David and Dorothy Curtis, who will celebrate their 50th anniversary on June 21st. Happy 91st birthday this Sunday to Stuart Roberts of Springdale. Happy 90th birthday to Ruby Skinner of St. Philip's. Her special day was yesterday. A big happy 50th anniversary tomorrow to Ken and Eileen Collins of Blackhead, Cape Spear. Congrats to everyone, and we want to send birthday greetings to Mary Rees, who turns 97 tomorrow.
Yes, she's formerly of Belle Island and now lives in Cambridge, Ontario, so happy birthday. Now, before we leave you tonight, we just wanted to show you this picture here. Can you spot the celebrity? I guess, I don't know, would you call
Celebrities?
it Celebrities, yes. So this is a photo from Come From Away that was posted by Chelsea Clinton on Twitter, and you can see the Clintons, Bill and Hillary in the middle there, and Chelsea there on the end.
That's some star power there at the old show.
Pretty cool.
Just like the star power here on this